Imagine this. It's day 10 of your bug-in. The initial thrill of survival has faded. You're at home, surrounded by all your gear, playing by your rules. It feels safe, comforting. But then, the walls start to close in. The comfort of your own home begins to feel more like a prison. The reality of your situation sinks in. It's not a vacation, it's confinement. This is the illusion of comfort, the first psychological barrier you'll face in long-term bugging in. You see, the human mind isn't built for isolation. It craves social interaction, variety, freedom. Stripped of these, it begins to rebel. The confinement, the monotony, it begins to wear on your mental health. You start to feel restless, anxious, bored, even depressed. And this is just the beginning. Over time, these feelings can worsen, leading to serious mental health issues. So how do you prepare for this mental transition? Firstly, acknowledge the possibility of this shift from comfort to confinement. Don't underestimate the impact of isolation and monotony on your mental health. Next, find ways to keep your mind engaged. Develop a routine to structure your day. Include activities that you enjoy, that stimulate your mind and keep you active. Books, puzzles, exercise, these can be your best friends in confinement. And finally, keep communication lines open. If you're bugging in with others, make time for conversations, for shared activities. If you're alone, a radio can be a lifeline to the outside world. Remember, the reality of bugging in is not a vacation, it's confinement. But with the right mindset and preparations, you can navigate through this illusion of comfort and maintain your mental health. Food, one of our most basic needs, becomes a full-time job. When you're bugging in, you're not just eating to satisfy your hunger, you're eating to survive. And that changes the game entirely. You're not just opening the fridge and picking out something tasty, you're calculating, strategizing, planning. Every meal is a tactical decision. You're thinking about how to stretch your food supplies, making sure you're getting the right balance of nutrients, keeping up your energy levels, all while working with a limited fuel supply. It's a delicate dance, and you're the choreographer. The key here is rotation. You can't eat the same thing every day, not just because it's boring, but because of something called food fatigue. This is when you get so tired of eating the same thing that you lose your appetite, even when you're hungry. And in a survival situation, that's a dangerous thing, so you need to mix it up, keep it interesting. But at the same time, you can't blow through your best stuff in the first week. You have to pace yourself, ration carefully, make sure you've got enough to last. It's a constant balancing act, and it takes a lot of mental energy. And remember, it's not just about what you're eating, it's about how you're eating. You need to create some kind of routine, some semblance of normalcy to keep morale up. Because in the end, rationing isn't just about what you eat, it's about how you eat. With no power, no propane, and no fresh ingredients, cooking becomes an exercise in creativity. The familiar comforts of a fully stocked kitchen are replaced by the challenge of making do with what you have. Now, imagine your kitchen without the usual appliances. No refrigerator humming in the corner, no microwave for quick reheats, no stove with its steady blue flame. What you do have are off-grid tools, shelf-stable foods, and the portions you've tightly rationed. The menu might be different, but the goal remains the same: to keep everyone fed and energized. Cooking may take on a new form, but it's not impossible. In fact, it becomes a game of clever substitutions and creative culinary hacks. A can of beans, a pack of dried noodles, and a bottle of spice can easily be transformed into a hearty meal. Expect more boiling, less baking, and a lot of improvisation. Water is life. But when you're bugging in, it becomes a precious commodity. It's easy to underestimate how much water we use daily. Drinking alone can consume around a gallon per person per day. Then factor in cooking, cleaning, and basic hygiene, and you're looking at a number that can quickly deplete your reserves. But fear not, it's all about smart water management. You'll need to get creative with conservation. Think about reusing cooking water for cleaning or capturing condensation. You may even have to reconsider your definition of dirty when it comes to dishes and clothing. And let's not forget about filtration. Should you exhaust your stored supply, having a reliable way to purify water becomes paramount, whether that's through boiling, chemical treatment, or a dedicated filter. In the end, it's not just about having water, it's about how you use it. When toilets stop working and trash piles up, sanitation becomes a crisis. Welcome to the nasty side of long-term survival. You might have envisioned yourself bravely fending off threats or rationing food like a survival guru. But have you considered where you'll dispose of your waste when the plumbing system fails? This is where the reality of bugging in gets gritty. Waste management isn't something we often discuss, but it's a critical aspect of survival. Without proper sanitation, your safe haven can quickly turn into a health hazard. So how do you manage waste when the typical systems aren't available? First, let's talk about trash. You'd be surprised how much waste you generate, especially when you're consuming canned or packaged goods. The best approach is to reduce, reuse, and repurpose as much as possible. Burnable items can be used for fire, while non-burnable ones should be stored in a sealed container away from your living area. Now, the topic no one wants to discuss but everyone needs to know, dealing with human waste. In the absence of functioning toilets, improvisation is key. A bucket with a tightly sealing lid, lined with a trash bag and sprinkled with some cat litter or sawdust between uses, can serve as a makeshift toilet. It's not glamorous, but it's practical and necessary. Remember, we're talking survival here, not luxury. Waste management isn't glamorous, but it's essential for long-term survival. Without hot water or daily showers, hygiene becomes a challenge. It's not just about feeling fresh and clean, but about warding off infections, diseases, and unpleasant odors that could attract unwanted attention in a survival situation. Picture this, you're in the second week of bugging in, and the hot water is a luxury of the past. You're rationing your water supply, so a daily shower is out of the question. How do you stay clean, you ask? Well, it's time to get creative, and that's where sponge baths come into play. It's an effective way to clean your body without using too much water. Now, let's talk about your hair. If you're used to washing it every day, you're in for a shock. But don't panic, dry shampoo is going to become your best friend. It absorbs excess oil, giving your hair a fresher appearance and feel. And what about those reusable wipes? They're a fantastic tool for maintaining hygiene. They can be used for everything from cleaning your hands before a meal to freshening up in the middle of the day. Remember to wash them regularly to keep them clean. Finally, let's not forget about foot care. Keeping your feet clean and dry is crucial to avoid fungal infections. Foot powder can be a great help here. Hygiene isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. You may be safe inside, until someone realizes you have what they don't. That's when the real challenge begins. It's not just about securing your fortress. It's about striking a delicate balance between alertness and rest. Let's discuss the concept of night watches. You might think it's about staying up all night every night, but that's not sustainable. Instead, consider a rotation system. Everyone takes turns ensuring that someone always has fresh eyes on the surroundings. Layered security is another key factor. It's not only about having a sturdy door or a good lock. Think about creating barriers, deterrents, and alarms that can buy you time or alert you to potential dangers. Noise discipline is often overlooked. Keeping noise levels low helps avoid attracting unwanted attention. And finally, rest. Even in a state of high alert, you need to sleep. It's about learning to relax while staying vigilant. In the end, security isn't just about staying safe, it's about staying alert. Boredom, isolation, fear, and tension with group members can lead to emotional breakdown. These are silent threats that creep into your safe haven, slowly gnawing at your sanity. It's not the hunger, the cold, or the lack of comfort that brings you down in the end, it's the unseen battle inside your head. Surviving isn't just about stocking up on essentials or mastering the art of rationing, it's about maintaining a healthy mind in a confined space over a prolonged period. That's why it's crucial to have routines in place. Routines give you a sense of normalcy, a semblance of control amidst the chaos. They help structure your days, making them predictable and manageable. But routines alone won't cut it. You need to entertain yourself, keep your mind active and engaged. It could be something as simple as reading, playing cards, or even knitting. Anything that can take your mind off the situation, even for a little while, can be a lifesaver. Then there's emotional rotation. It's a powerful tool that involves consciously shifting your focus from negative to positive emotions, from fear and anxiety to hope and gratitude. And when things get really tough, you need to know how to reset morale. This could be through group activities, sharing stories, or simply stepping back and appreciating how far you've come. Remember, the real battle in long-term survival is not with the outside world, it's within. Your gear gets used, things break, supplies run out. It's the inevitable cycle of daily life, intensified by the confines of long-term bugging in. You're not just living in your space, you're wearing it down. That means maintenance becomes a critical part of your survival routine. Those everyday items we take for granted, they become essential tools in your survival kit. Duct tape for quick fixes, super glue for those stubborn cracks, stitching kits to mend wear and tear, light bulbs to keep your space illuminated, oil for smooth operation. These are the unsung heroes of your bug-in supplies. But stocking up is just the first step. Knowing how to use these tools, how to improvise repairs and make the most of what you have, that's the real survival skill. It's not just about having a well-stocked toolbox, it's about becoming the toolbox. Maintenance isn't just about having tools, it's about knowing how to use them. Bugging in for the long term isn't about holding out, it's about making a fundamental shift from a reactive to a proactive survival mindset. You're not just holding your breath until things go back to normal, no, you're creating a new normal, a new rhythm to your life, where old habits are shed and new ones are adopted. You're not just eating, you're rationing. You're not just sleeping, you're balancing rest with vigilance. You're not just cleaning, you're conserving and recycling water. You're not just thinking, you're strategizing, planning, and adapting. In essence, you're not just living within four walls, you're creating a sustainable microcosm of society, your society. The more you adapt, the more you evolve, the more you thrive. Because the reality of long-term survival isn't just about making it through, it's about adapting to thrive.